Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with more Mass Effect content, and if you're new channel, welcome. Today we're going to be checking out another video by the Templin Institute. So shout out and credit goes to the Templin Institute for the video, and this one's called the Systems Alliance Navy. Now, I remember when we fought in Mass Effect that we fell under the Navy because, we were aboard a ship and every single rank was called, every single person we addressed was either captain or admiral, so that pretty much gave it away. But however, I know this is only going to be talking about the branch Systems Alliance Navy because I made this mistake with Halo. And there is another video called Systems Alliance, so I'll be watching that afterwards. So we're just going to be looking to the Navy, but I know that one thing about the Systems Alliance Navy is the N7. The N7 is like special forces, but I don't know if they fall under the Navy or that is just something else like entirely different, or if they fall into the Marines. Hopefully maybe this video will answer it. So let's see what kind of facts and lore we'll learn about the Systems Alliance Navy. So without anything else, let's just jump into it. There's the Normandy.
When human civilization first pushed past the boundaries of the solar system, the question of whether or not mankind was alone in the universe had already been answered. Ruins uncovered on Mars and the discovery of a mass relay orbiting Pluto left little doubt that extraterrestrial civilizations were waiting to be discovered. It was a matter of when, and not if. For this reason, the first tentative expeditions launched by the Systems Alliance were of a military nature, and the consequences of this decision would echo across the ensuing decades. Even when humanity was granted a place on the Citadel Council, and it became a preeminent member of the interstellar community, its greatest impact on the galaxy was not made by its culture, its ideologies, or its sciences, but by the ships of the Systems Alliance Navy. As the primary interstellar service branch of the Systems Alliance Armed Forces, the Alliance Navy was one of the most important human institutions. It was tasked with protecting Systems Alliance colonies, space stations, mass relays, and the various transit routes linking them together. As the Navy grew in strength, it was increasingly able to project force outside Alliance territory, engage in forward peacetime deployments, and rapidly respond to regional crises. During what would become a tumultuous time in galactic history, the Navy was a significant element of the Systems Alliance foreign and military policy. The structure of the Alliance Navy included numerous component services and independent branches, yet its most significant operating forces were organized under the command of several numbered fleets. Each of these fleets consisted of various classes of corvettes, frigates, destroyers, and cruisers, responsible for escorting the far larger dreadnoughts and carriers that formed the centerpieces of these task forces.
I remember the fleets in
As
the
a
game.
signatory of the Citadel Council, and by extension, the Treaty of Phyrexian, the Alliance Navy was limited in the number of dreadnoughts that could be constructed. Peacekeeping across Council space was the chief duty of the Turian hierarchy, and only one Systems Alliance dreadnought was permitted for every 5 operated by the Turians. This was later extended to a 5-to-3 ratio when mankind was granted a seat on the Citadel Council.
Okay.
To make up for this imbalance, however, the Systems Alliance pioneered the use of fleet carriers, a distinctly human design. By replacing the mass accelerator cannons found aboard most dreadnoughts with extensive hangars,
Wait.
the fleets of the Alliance
There's one. There's Normandy right there, but the other one on the top left says Normandy SR2. So is that like a Turian version of the Normandy? I mean, the Normandy that we had in the game was Turian. The design and also, I believe the technology as well. But dang, that's really cool. The design on the left one.
Navy were able to operate many more larger ships compared to their similarly restricted rivals. At its height in 2186, the Systems Alliance Navy was operating 9 dreadnoughts, a mere fraction of the number utilized by the Turian hierarchy or Asari republics, but many thousands of smaller ship types. The 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th fleets were stationed in the Arcturus system, home of the political and military headquarters of the Systems Alliance. The 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th fleets were based at Earth, Terra Nova, Eden Prime, and Ontarom, respectively, although these latter deployments could periodically change. Each fleet was subdivided into numerous flotillas, which were periodically deployed across the galaxy as required. Of the many sub-branches within the Alliance Navy, the two largest and most prominent were the Fleet Air Arm and the Alliance Marine Corps. Both were specialized services responsible for operating the Navy's fighter squadrons and providing ground-based expeditionary operations, respectively.
So the Navy branch in this one evolved, and they said that there were some sub branches. The Marines is a sub branch. Well, I mean, then again, in the United States, I can't say for like other countries, but the Marine Corps is the department of the Navy. So the Marine Corps, we do fall under the Navy, but we are a branch itself. So it looks like this one, the Navy has the Marines as a sub branch, but it looks like it has some sort of like aviation as another sub branch as well. So that's really interesting. I mean, basically it expand, and now it has like so many like ships and so many personnel. It would explain. I mean, it does explain why it would like branch out and have more subdivisions and sub branches, so that way it's easier to manage.
As dictated by tradition and its distinguished role within the Alliance Navy, the Marine Corps was granted the distinction of several unique ranks and honorifics.
Really?
As part of the Interplanetary Combatives Training, or ICT program, members of the Alliance Navy, alongside their counterparts from terrestrial Earth militaries, were eligible to undergo specialized leadership and combat training. Based in Villa Militar,
is this the
Rio de
N7?
Janeiro, candidates trained in jetpack flight, combat driving, linguistics, and frontline trauma care for human and alien biology. ICT qualification enabled a graduate to include a vocational code of N, indicating expertise in special operations, followed by a number of 1 through 7, representing their level of proficiency. Both the ICT
Is 7 the
program
highest?
and wider Alliance Navy doctrine gained significant renown across the other Citadel
I hope it
races
is.
for their innovative techniques and technology. In contrast to the other great military powers of the galaxy, namely the Krogan clans and Turian hierarchy, the Systems Alliance prefers to avoid grinding wars of attrition in favor of a kind of leapfrogging strategy. Enemy strongpoints are rarely assaulted directly, but instead bypassed in favor of enemy supply lines, logistical centers, and headquarters units. Once isolated, enemy pockets can be left to wither on the vine or be engaged at an opportune time. This doctrine is a result of the Alliance's comparatively small army, with only roughly 3% of humans volunteering for military service. To make up for this smaller manpower pool, Alliance forces utilize virtual intelligence, drones, artillery, electronic warfare, and armored units as force multipliers.
Oh, okay.
Combined with an
To make up
emphasis
for
on
it.
mobility and individual initiative, the Alliance Navy has often routed far larger enemy forces.
However, what I find interesting is they built all that to like level out the playing field and to catch up. And yet in Mass Effect 1 and 2, VI, virtual intelligence, mechanics, and mechs and all that was actually one of the most difficult and most common enemies we had to face. So ironically, what was built to help humanity went against humanity and was one of its greatest threats. I still remember that VI we had to face on Lunar, the Earth's moon, and also the Overlord VI that we had to like face. I forgot which planet it was, but it was a DLC, and there was just mechs everywhere, big mechs, and also the drone skinny mechs. It was just crazy. I mean, if they were on our side and fighting against the enemy, yeah, it would be a huge advantage. But most of the time, we were fighting against them.
Alliance mission-type tactics and strategic doctrine were a response born from the service's earliest major conflict, the First Contact War of 2157, while ultimately a small-scale and relatively bloodless incident resulting from mutual ignorance. It had an enormous effect on the Alliance Navy, as well as outside opinion on human civilization. Unlikely to have been able to prevail against the Turian hierarchy had the conflict escalated to a full-scale war, the performance of the Alliance Navy first in its defense of the Shanxi colony, and later in its subsequent liberation, nevertheless greatly impressed the other civilizations of the Citadel Council. Even the Turians regarded the Alliance's capabilities favorably, and the mutual respect that developed here helped ease the tensions left over from the conflict.
Yeah, I mean, relationship with the Turians was really good. The only Turian we had trouble with was the one on the Citadel Council. He was always going against us, and actually Saren as well. The very first Spectre that we faced against. Well, I mean, Saren was pretty much indoctrined, but the one that wasn't indoctrined and gave us the most trouble was the one on the Citadel Council. So, and also, hey, come on, Garrus. Garrus was our boy. He was loyal and he was a great friend all the way from the beginning of Mass Effect 1 to the end of Mass Effect 3.
The Alliance Navy remained at the forefront of humanity's efforts to become a true interstellar civilization. It gained further renown in 2176 after defending the human colony of Elysium from opportunistic pirates and mercenaries in a battle that would come to be known as the Skyllian Blitz.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that in the Codex.
And Torfan would further cement humanity's military prowess. It was during the Battle of the Citadel, however, that the Alliance Navy earned perhaps its greatest victory. An unexpected attack on the station by a fleet of Geth warships led by the Reaper Dreadnought Sovereign nearly overwhelmed the Citadel fleets. However, with the intervention of Commander Shepard, the first human Spectre agent, the Alliance Fifth Fleet arrived at the decisive moment, shattering the Geth formations and Sovereign itself.
Shout out to Shepard.
By the Alliance Navy in the battle was instrumental in the decision to grant humanity a role on the Citadel Council. Together with the Turian hierarchy, Alliance fleets would be utilized by the Citadel in a galactic peacekeeping role.
By the way, I know this isn't, I guess you could say canon, so to speak, but I do remember if you do the Renegade option of taking down Sovereign and not saving the, what was it called, Destiny Ascension and the Citadel Council. By the way, spoiler if you guys haven't played the game or don't know about this, the current Citadel Council will get wiped out, and then you could replace it with an all-human council. So basically, humanity would be the dominant species. And I was like, wow, this is real. This is a coup. This is a coup d'etat right there. But eventually, because of canon reasons and for plot reasons, eventually it was replaced by new Asari, Solarian, and Turian council members. Just like how no matter if you choose Captain Anderson to be the counselor in Mass Effect 2, Udina will still be the counselor in Mass Effect 3. But either way, I just wanted to mention that because it just came to mind just now.
In just a few decades, the Systems Alliance had achieved a place of prominence within galactic civilization that others had not accomplished in centuries or millennia. Despite its revolutionary designs and innovative doctrine, the Alliance Navy proved no more capable of resisting the advance of the Reapers during their full-scale invasion of 2186. In battles fought across the solar system and Alliance space, every major numbered fleet suffered significant losses, with some wiped out entirely as effective combat elements.
I forgot which fleet it was.
Under the leadership of Admiral Hackett,
that was wiped out.
Alliance forces retreated.
During the military alliance assets in Mass Effect 3, it gives you a description about the assets themselves. And I remember one of the fleets was completely wiped out or almost wiped out. I think it was the Fifth Fleet, if I remember correctly. That was almost wiped out, or was it the Second Fleet? It said that they basically sacrificed themselves to save the other fleets or something like that. So that I just want to mention that because it kind of fits into what Templin Institute is saying right now.
To various rendezvous points across Citadel space, while Commander Shepard began marshalling galactic resources for a counterattack.
Still the best moment in gaming.
During a single decisive engagement, the Alliance Navy was joined by its counterparts from every major interstellar military, fighting the Reapers in orbit of Earth.
Thanks to Commander Shepard.
The outcome of that apocalyptic battle has been lost in the cataclysmic events of the era. All that can be said with some degree of certainty is that the fleet actions in orbit of Earth allowed a major landing of troops onto the surface. Humanity was seen as many things during its brief tenure on the galactic stage: a powerful force for peace, or unrestrained, dangerous upstarts. In many ways, it was both. Yet, whatever future mankind may have won or lost for itself in orbit of Earth, it was paid for in blood by the ships, sailors, and marines of the Systems Alliance Navy.
Now that was a really great video talking about the Navy and its fight and sacrifice, the fleets, the subdivisions, sub-branches, the Marine Corps, the aviation, the fleets, and all that. So that was really great. But this one kind of sounds like it was talking more about the System Alliance in general. Like half of it was the System Alliance in general, and the other half was like the Navy. So I wonder what it's going to be talking about in the Systems Alliance. Maybe like how it began and how it's created and things like that. But either way, this was really great. And like I said, there were just, it made me remember like some moments in the game. And like I said, the games are amazing. I'm really looking forward to Mass Effect 4. Just watching that teaser, I did watch that teaser again recently, and even though it was like only a minute and a half, it was great. And I'm really looking forward to like how they're gonna like, how they're gonna pick off at the end of Mass Effect 3, or if you can import your game at the end of Mass Effect 3 into Mass Effect 4. We'll see. But either way, this was a really great video, and as always, shout out and credit goes to the Templin Institute for doing a great job. So that's all I got for today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.